This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane. This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hi guys, this is Brittnie Brooks, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts, who should be joining us a little later, but who is joining us right now, Scooter Dust.
What's up, wrestling fans? It is the odd one who always gets even.
And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Brittnie Brooks.
Hi, that was a really good introduction. I'm very, very, very excited to be on you guys' podcast. I think it's really cool.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure.
We've tried to do it big here on Wrestling With.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. I'm really excited to be on the podcast.
And we're excited to have you as well. Can you tell us what's coming up for Brittnie Brooks and where we can find you on social?
So right now, there's not much upcoming for Brittnie Brooks. I'm injured. But you guys can watch all of my matches. They're up on my YouTube channel. If you just type in Brittnie Brooks, there's several matches on there. Obviously, nothing's going up right now, but you can get your, Brittnie Brooks fix by watching all of those matches that I have. I'm most active on my Instagram. It's at the Brittnie Brooks. Brittnie is spelled Brittnie and then Brooks. And then I have Twitter. I never really use it. My Facebook is connected to my Instagram, I think. I don't go on there either. I'm just most active on my Instagram. That's kind of just how it goes.
Right. And all of those links will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. No need to go looking for it. It's going to be there.
Perfect.
Alright, let's get into it. You work for AWF. Can you tell us about your relationship with that company?
Yes. So AWF is the promotion that I go to for practicing too. So that's where I learned, is where I had almost all my matches. I've branched out to other companies, but it's mostly AWF right now just because I'm trying to get my name out there. So I have wrestled in California a couple times. I'm looking forward to wrestling in Vegas, hopefully California, Vegas, Texas when I come back. That's one of the biggest things that I want to do when I do come back from my injury. AWF, I think it's a great promotion, and our trainers are the best of the best. We have Lawrence Tyler, who's been to WWE several times for matches. He was signed, and he just is so knowledgeable, I think, about everything when it comes to wrestling. He covers all bases. And then we have Charles R3 Cassis, who is an amazing teacher as well. He has been around. He's wrestled in so many places and knows so much about it equally. And I just really think they're incredible coaches. So if you're looking to become a wrestler, come to AWF Academy. We have a lot of good students there. It's the best of the best.
All right. Now, Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Let's start off with something. Okay. Too early, James. You ruined the bit. One thing we do here on Wrestling With, we pride ourselves on our research, and we go digging. If there's something hidden, we'll find it. Tell us about what Johnny Gargano means to you.
Oh my gosh. So Johnny Gargano is one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, well, even not even growing up, like like a few years ago, before I was a wrestler myself. I met him a couple times, and he was just the kindest and sweetest, and he gave me really good advice too about just like being a wrestler, because at that point I wasn't a wrestler yet. But I looked up to him. He wasn't like my biggest influence. My biggest influence was definitely John Cena and the Bella Twins. I was literally obsessed with them. But Johnny Gargano is still one of my favorite wrestlers. I love watching his matches. A lot of people don't feel the same way, and I disagree with them because I do think he's a really talented wrestler, and I love just everything he does. But yeah, I love Johnny Gargano. But yeah.
All right, James.
Now, onto a bad subject, but we'll get into better stuff afterwards. You tore your ACL. What happened, and when can we expect you back?
Yes, I did tear my ACL. I did it in practice in March. So we were just like doing spots in practice, and I landed completely wrong. And the thing is like my coach was always like, don't land like that. You're going to blow your knees out. And what did I do? I landed like that, like I always do. And this time I blew my knee out. And I felt like my knee like go backwards and like come out. And I was like super duper scared. I fell down. It wasn't like instant like pain, like it just felt sore, and it felt sore for 3 weeks. And I was getting ready to go for a match at AWF. I can't remember, I think it was AWF Triumph, and I was getting ready to do that match, and I was like, I really wanted to have match of the night. That was what I was going for. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, I want to have the best match ever. And so we were planning on doing some really, really, really cool things that I wanted to do in the match. Like I was training to like do those moves and bust them out for the first time. And then because the week before, to give you some ideas, the week before we were working on suicide dives. I mean, we did what is it called? Oh, springboards. I don't know why I can remember. I was working on a springboard forearm. Like I was so excited for that match. That was like the practice before, and then we were just doing like something super duper duper simple that practice. And then so 3 weeks passed. I stood out for a little bit. I wasn't doing as much in practice. 3 weeks passed. The show comes. My opponent got sick, so they replaced her. And I don't know, when we were putting together the match, or like that day, we were just like, I don't know what to do. And then so like my knee still felt sore. So I go out, and in the match at the very, very, very beginning, my knee just like gives out. Like it's just like I go to stand up and I literally can't stand up. And I'm like, doesn't feel right. So we ended the match, and when I got to the back, I was like, yeah, I think something's wrong. Because like for those 3 weeks, I honestly was like, oh, well, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I just jammed my knee. My knee's just sore. Like, nothing's actually torn. Because I had full range of motion. Like, I could still fully bend my leg and everything. And so I was like, there's something wrong. And then that match was just like, oh, I guess I should go see a doctor. So we made a doctor's appointment. They were booked up, so we couldn't get into the doctors until about 3 weeks after that. Wow. So I was basically walking around with a torn ACL for a month and a half before I even went to the doctor. And then at the doctor, like right away, she felt my leg and she's like, you tore your ACL, like there's no point. And I was like, oh my gosh, I honestly didn't think it was much more than just a jam knee that would take like maybe a couple weeks to fix. But yeah, so she was like, yeah, you definitely tore your ACL. This is what's gonna happen. She like started talking about surgery, and one of my biggest fears is surgery. So when she was mentioning all those things, I was really, really, really scared. And I was like, this is like insane. What am I going to do? But so we ended up meeting with a surgeon, and then they scheduled this surgery for the end of May because I had finals coming up and everything. So I did this surgery at the very end of May, and to get to your other question, I'm almost there. So then in May, we went to Disneyland, and I went to Vegas just to like have some last hurrahs before the surgery. And so I'm kind of doing okay. We've been doing physical therapy twice a week, and I just do whatever I can at the gym. I pretty much do everything I learn at physical therapy every single day just to be like keeping it going and making sure that it gets stronger because my quad is significantly small. It looks really weird because it's super duper skinny compared to the other one, and the other one is also losing its muscle mass because I'm not going to train like one leg.
Right.
So there's that. When can you expect to see me back? So my goal is December, but a lot of like people who have also experienced ACL tears, my physical therapist, they're like, it might be a year. Because December would be the 6-month point, or it would be like 6 months from, yeah, it would be about the 6 months point. So, but like, my physical therapist keeps telling me, because I have like the fear that I'm not pushing myself as hard as I should be, but then I also have the fear of like hurting it again.
Right.
So like, it's just finding that happy medium. And he's like, just remember, like, Patrick Peterson, or I think he said Patrick, or no, Adrian Peterson, somebody with the last name Peterson, a football player, tore his ACL and made it back in 6 months. And that was like the quickest ACL recovery time ever. And he's like, just know that that probably won't be the case because you're young and you aren't like a freak human athlete, which is very true. I'm definitely not a freak human athlete. So yeah, December is the goal. I'm kind of thinking March because that would be like a year since I tore it, but a year since the surgery would be May, which is like really, really scary to think about because I'm only, this will be my 7th week. I'm not very, like, far removed from surgery, but that's basically the rundown, how I tore it, all the things.
Thank you for, all of that, going into detail about it. And how I know it's been very recent. How are you kind of reflecting on pro wrestling kind of now in your career, looking kind of looking outside in at this point?
So one of the biggest things that, like, when the moment she told me that I had a torn ACL and we got an MRI, and I was like, well, it's definitely torn because the MRI just kind of confirmed everything that the doctor was saying. I started thinking, like, I was really, really, really upset because wrestling has always been, like, the love of my life. Like, I've never dated anybody. I've never been in love in my life, but wrestling has always been literally the love of my life. So, like, the fact that I couldn't do it really messed with me. And I was, like, really upset for a couple months. And then, I kind of got over it. And then I had the surgery. And then I was stuck in bed, stuck just watching wrestling for, like, the first few weeks after surgery were very, very hard. That's a lot of people don't tell you that. Like, right. They're like, oh, well, you'll be fine. And I guess everybody heals differently. I just met somebody actually I'm doing a fashion show at a, like, fitness expo in a couple weeks. And we had, like, a practice, like, walking the runway or whatever, which is very odd to see me with a limp and a big knee brace to see me walking on a fashion show. But I think it'll be fun. But I met somebody who also went through ACL surgery, last week, and he was already up moving about. And I was like, dude, you're insane, because I had mine 7 weeks ago, and I'm to the point where I feel like he is. But I guess everybody heals differently. But a lot of people don't say how hard it is, like, right after surgery. Like, you can't do anything. I was literally in bed. I got up to go to the bathroom, and that was very hard. Like, I had crutches, but even then I was in so much, like, pain and agony just trying to, like, sit down on anything. To take a shower, I had to, like, literally bring a chair in, and it was very hard to, like, get it and out and everything. But yeah, I was really upset at first, but then I realized, like, wrestling is what I want for the rest of my life. It's what I know that I want to be a part of it, and I feel like this just solidified it because I'm away right now, and I don't stay away. I still go to the AWF shows and watch, help out, like, where I can. It's kind of hard for me to, like, help out with the ring or anything right now, but I still go to support my friends too because I really want to see them wrestle. And yeah, it just solidified. Like, I knew that wrestling was what I wanted to do, but then now it's just like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I'm a very firm believer that everything happens for a reason, And I feel like the reason why this is happening now is because next year when I'm graduated and old enough to be able to be doing everything, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, like I can do all this stuff now because this happened now and it's not happening next year. Because it could be so much worse if it was happening next year when I did have the ability to travel more and do more like with wrestling. So I think everything does happen for a reason. Like if it was going to happen, I'm very glad it happened now and not next year.
All right. So, Scooter, you have a question.
Yes, I believe you were referring to Adrian Peterson with the there. All right. There was one thing you mentioned that I have so many questions on, only because I am also a huge fan, as is James. But I'm gonna say that for after this. In 2021, you were recognized as one of Women's Wrestling Talk 16 up and coming women wrestlers. What did that mean to you?
That was insane because the funniest part is I didn't even see it. So like I think they tagged me on Twitter, which I went in like months after. What was crazy is my mom's best friend, like they don't know anything about wrestling. They don't, follow it whatsoever. I don't even think they fully even understand what wrestling is. They saw it and they said to my mom, they're like, this is your daughter. And we were like, wait, really? And I was like, because that's like a pretty big thing. And I was like, oh my God, no way. Like, that's insane to me. I still feel like, to me, I will never feel like satisfied with where I'm at. I also never feel like, I'm a name, like, or anybody. Like, obviously, I'm very, 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 very local right now. And I don't think I'm like, I have the following even that I do. Like, it shocks me that people even know, like, who I am. Or, like, it's crazy because when podcasts reach out to me, I'm like, how do you even, like, know me? Like, I feel extremely, extremely, extremely local. I feel like I would never even be like, who is she? Like, on those lists, like, I don't think I'll ever feel like, oh, like, people know who I am. You know what I mean?
All right.
I think you're building a reputation, though.
I'm trying. That's like my goal. I am finding my passion also. Well, with my time off, I'm also finding my passion in like marketing. And I don't know why, but Instagram is like my favorite thing. Like I go on there to promote. Like I just want to get my name out there, and I love marketing and I love building the Brittnie Brooks brand. Like getting merch now. I have merch. I have like for the longest time I didn't really have wrestling gear, but now I have a couple different things and like real wrestling boots. Because like what I wore at first was like those knee-high Chuck Taylors that AJ Lee wore, because she's also a big inspiration to me. And I think they looked really cool, but I was like, you know what? I want like real wrestling boots. Like I want to be a wrestler, because I feel like my outfit was very ragtag for a bit there because we were working on getting gear made and everything, and it took a while. And so now I feel like I'm trying to build the Brittnie Brooks brand, be on these podcasts. Like, to me, it means so much that anybody would even reach out to me to be on a podcast even. But yeah, just like, and working with these companies, I have amazing, like relationships with Wrestling Over Everything, which is like an incredible company. Gym Fit LA, and I'm reaching out to some more like weightlifting brands too, because I do love going to the gym and wearing that stuff. I also have a partnership with FNX, which is like a supplement company. And yeah, those are like the main companies that I'm a part of. And I just love building the brand, like getting Brittnie Brooks everywhere. That's my goal.
And that's awesome. But, researching you, and, obviously you're very active and on all social medias, except for Twitter, which you only have one tweet.
That is true. I don't know what it is about Twitter. Every time I go on there, I get anxious because I don't know how it works. And like, I don't know how Facebook works either, but somehow I linked it to like my Instagram. I'm just the most Instagram savvy person ever. Twitter is a big like platform, and I don't know why I don't use it more. It's just like, I get on there and I'm like, I don't know how this works. I just like I don't have anything like cool to tweet, so I'm like, and then the timeline just confuses me because I don't like seeing things that I don't follow. Like I guess, but the everything with like retweeting and replying, like I see all that on my timeline and I just get confused. So I'm like, Brittnie Brooks will be everywhere but Twitter. But I have an account, so I guess that's good enough, right?
Oh, so, I mean, it's still if you need it, right?
Sure.
But you had mentioned doing a fashion show coming up. How did that opportunity come about? And
Yeah, so it's going to be the Culture Expo. It's on August 13th. The company had reached out to me through my Instagram, and they were like, we would really like you to be a part of this casting call. So I went to it, and they were like, oh, she has a torn ACL. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we would still love for you to be a part of it, and love for you to walk, because I've been really, really, really getting into weightlifting. It is something that, like, since I can't work out when I wrestle, I also, well, like, I've always, like, been addicted to the gym, but now it's like I'm not getting that extra workout from going to wrestling practice twice a week. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to be at the gym more. And so I've been really getting into working out, and I want to like post a lot more about that too, because I do love like a lot of like weightlifting companies. I love like their brands and stuff. And so this company reached out to me, and they're like, yeah, like we'd love for you to be part of our expo and all that. So yeah, they're doing like, it's going to be a really cool expo. It's called the Culture Expo. It's at the Phoenix Convention Center, August 13th. They're going to have fashion shows. They're going to have bodybuilding, powerlifting, I think karate, jiu-jitsu, literally all different kinds of like athletic sports. And I'm really, really excited for it. There's going to be like 2 shows. There's like a morning show and then a night show. And I'm really excited for the part in the middle where we get to go around and like see all these things, like all these like apparel companies, which I'm really excited to check out and buy from, and like just supplement companies, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I think expos are like the coolest things ever, and to be in one is like absolutely insane to me, because I mean the only expo I've ever been into in my life was like Royal Rumble Access 2019 or 2018, something like that. But that was really fun, and that was like an expo type situation, so I'm very excited to be in an expo.
And I have another fun question that I'm sure Scooter will follow up on. Did getting attacked by Chris Evans sour your love of Marvel?
It did. Okay, I was very, very mad at him. I was like, okay, Chris Evans, here we go. No, but I got my revenge, and I'm very upset that I never got a match with him. We were like, I was trying for it. I was like, let me beat Chris Evans up, because he had no right. Because my match with Paradox, that was like an insane match. I tried things I've never tried before in that match. I had so much fun, and I lost. But to make matters worse, Chris Evans decided to come in there and super kick me, and then he gave me a like reverse DDT, and I was so mad. And then, but I did get my revenge. I hit him with a kendo stick and knocked him through a table full of Skittles. And but yeah, I never got a match with him, and I think that was because an opportunity opened up to be in a championship, women's championship match, and that's the match that I won. So I won the belt from that, but I would still very much like to run it back and go against Chris Evans, beat him up, show him who Brittnie Brooks is, because he can't just go around super kicking girls like that. Like, nuh-uh.
I mean, he hit Paradox pretty hard with that. He hit Paradox with a chair, but that super kick looked murderous.
Yeah, my chin felt it for quite a few days there. Like, I was like, well, you know, yeah, it's wrestling. Like, I guess it is what it is.
Scooter.
All right. Well, since James opened the Pandora's box, let's see, Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars. The three things besides pro wrestling that I nerd about. Two-thirds of those things are things James nerds out about. Oh, God. All right, let's start simple. Tell us about the shawarma at Avengers Campus.
Oh my god. It is literally the best thing you will ever eat. Every time I go, I have to get it. And I've been to Avengers Campus, I think, 3 times now. Yeah, 3 times. And I have eaten shawarma every single time. I literally, if I could die and eating one meal for the rest of my life, it would be shawarma. It would be shawarma at Avengers Campus. And I honestly have, since I always get the shawarma though, I have never tried like Pim's Test Kitchen or anything, and I've always wanted to. So next time I'm going to get the shawarma and I'm going to go to Pim's Test Kitchen, because that is the one time where I'm not going to care about how much I eat or anything like that. I'm just going to be like, we're getting all the food at Avengers Campus. But yeah, I'm obsessed with all those things. I would also like to throw in Stranger Things too, because oh my gosh, I have been so hooked. It came out the volume 1 of Stranger Things season 4 came out the day after my surgery, so I was so I watched season 4 all in one day. Or like a day and a half. And then I started the show over again, and I started I watched from season 1 up to season 4 again, and then I obviously watched volume 2 the night it came out. I stayed up until like 2, and I watched a Instagram live that was on their like the Stranger Things Instagram, and they're like the guy who plays Hopper, David Harbour.
David Harbour.
He was like strap in, because if it is, because I think it came out for 12 for my time.
Comes out 12 a.m. Pacific. So
yes.
Arizona doesn't follow daylight savings time.
We got some weird times over here in AZ.
Yes.
But I think it came out at 12, and he was like, well, strap in, guys, because if it comes out at 12, you will not finish watching it until 4 a.m. And that day I was doing something. So like I watched the first episode, and then I woke up and watched the second one, because I was like, I can't stay up until 4. I can't remember what I was doing that day. But yeah, I was all in on volume 2. I think it was incredible. Like Stranger Things is the best show. Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, they have the best movies, but the best show ever to me is Stranger Things.
Well, I am absolutely a diehard Stranger Things fan as well. Out here in New York City, up in Brooklyn, they have the Stranger Things experience.
Oh my god, I saw TikToks on that. I want to go so bad.
Basically, a Stranger Things, museum and escape room experience, I believe, as well. All right, let's stick with Marvel for a second. And is it safe? Well, actually, I'm going to make this a 2-parter. You mentioned Avengers Campus, and you've been. I don't know how many times you've ever been out to Disney World in Orlando, but of course, Disneyland in California is literally a fifth of Disney World in Orlando, and with the Star Wars stuff there and all the Marvel stuff there. Would you possibly looking to work your way out to Orlando to really take in all the Avengers and Star Wars and Marvel stuff and everything in between? And is it safe to say that Scarlet Witch is your favorite Avenger? Or now no longer, I should say.
Okay, so first question. Disney World, I've been once, but we only went for 2 days. So we went to Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, so we didn't get to go to Epcot or Animal Kingdom.
Ooh.
I 100% would want to go back, just because the Cosmic Rewind, Guardians of the Galaxy, ride at Epcot just came out, and I want to ride it so bad. Scarlet Witch is not my favorite character, though. I do love Spider-Man. I'm in love with Tom Holland. But I love Spider-Man and I love Captain America. I love his 3 movies. Like his trilogy is literally the best.
Yes.
But I'm also liking Thor. I did see Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought it was pretty good. And then Guardians are amazing too. I honestly love all of the Avengers except for Captain Marvel and except for, I mean, the Hulk is not my fave, but I do like the Mark Ruffalo version. I have never even like bothered to watch the other Hulk movies because
The Ed Norton version.
I just don't care. I like Mark Ruffalo. I think he deserves his own movie, and yeah.
Why the dislike for Captain Marvel?
I just didn't like the movie. I don't know. Like, I just didn't like the movie, and I didn't really like her in Endgame well, I guess she wasn't really in Infinity War, but I didn't really like her in Endgame because she was like, all the planets are also dealing with this trouble, like, obviously, but like, the main focus is Earth here, dude. Like, I just don't like her, but I will say I love Miss Marvel. I think it is an incredible movie, and I love how diverse it is. It's like, she's like, I don't know. I love Miss Marvel. I've been very into it. I think I'm behind though. I haven't watched it in a couple weeks, and I missed watching it.
Scooter, did you have any follow-ups? I know you was gonna say.
Oh, I had something in my mind that I was going to follow up with, and I lost my train of thought on it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jibs, you can.
Okay. If you remember, we'll come back to it. Let's get back onto wrestling for a moment. You competed against Alex Gracia. How did that come about, and what was the experience like? You know, wrestling one of the top names in the wrestling right now.
I loved my match with Alex Gracia. I wrestled her twice, so it was both in California for the New Solution Pro Wrestling. That was the first. So in October, it was in 2021. That was the first time I've ever left Arizona to wrestle, and I was extremely excited just to like see a different audience because nobody knows. Like I said, nobody really knows who Brittnie Brooks is right now, and that's like okay. And I really wanted to get out there and explore my audience, and then that first match was like, oh, like this is Brittnie Brooks, like we know who she is now. And then the second match, the crowd was also much larger, and Layla Gray was also there, and I literally loved my matches with them. I think that they were some of the best matches I've had in my career so far. And I learned a lot with wrestling them, and I appreciated a lot. I just appreciated getting the chance to also like wrestle in California because it's very different than Arizona. Like the scene is extremely different too. Like we have a lot of obviously Arizona has some talented female wrestlers. There's not many though actually in Arizona, and that's one of the things that like I also want to push onto people. Like if you are even thinking about wrestling, like do it, try it. Like I would 100% love to see more girls at the academy because right now it's literally, well, I'm out, and then there isn't really many at all. So the Phoenix wrestling women's scene is not too big right now. But I loved getting to go to California and wrestle her because I think she has a lot more experience than me, and I loved learning from her because she taught me a lot.
All right, and you know you won the AWF title. You competed against top indie names. What does it mean to you being so young in your career and just young in general because you're not 18 yet and getting all of this success?
It honestly means a lot to me because when I was like 5 years old is when I became like such a big wrestling fan. And for the longest time, I obviously was just like, oh, like these people, like they just, I don't know, they just become wrestlers. Like I didn't realize that you go to like wrestling school, that like you wrestle on the independent. Like I didn't even know what the independents were until I started like getting ready to wrestle. Like a couple, like I was actually shocked. Like I didn't even know that there was something other than WWE out there. So It means like a lot to me because they told me like every company I would hit up with my little email would be like, you have to be 18. And I'm like to even start practicing. And then this company, AEWF, followed me on Instagram, and I was like, that's really random. And then I checked them out, and then I saw that they had like a kids program, and so we went to that, and I learned a lot, and then we started doing the adult classes, and then from there I just became even more obsessed with wrestling. And yeah, so I think it's really, really cool that I get to live my dreams so young. Like, I get to live my dream while still going to school and working and doing all these things, and because I go to high school and college. So it's just like telling like my friends my age, they're like, you're so cool. And I'm like, I obviously don't care if they think I'm cool, but like I just think it's really cool, you know, to be like, yeah, I'm a professional wrestler. Like even right now, like even I was at work today, and this lady was like, what happened to your leg? And I was like, oh yeah, well, I tore my ACL. She's like, did you tear it here? I was like, oh no. I definitely didn't tear it working at Target. But I was like, no, I'm a pro wrestler. And the little boy was like, oh my God, no way. And I'm like, I don't know. I just think it's really cool because a lot of people don't see me and expect that, which like, that's something I also think I'm crazy about working out for, is because I want people to like, when I walk into a room, I want people to be like, what does she do? Like, she looks really good. Like, what is she doing? Because I feel like now with wrestling, there's so many different people and like obviously so many different body types, which I think is incredible. Right. But also like I feel like wrestlers have lost like their omnicity, I want to say, if that's the right word, like their presence. Like right. Ultimate Warrior could walk into a room and you'd be like, he's a wrestler. Like, you know, like like these people are larger than life. And like for girls, it's obviously pretty hard, but I want to get to a point where like people can look at me and like, dang, she's like in phenomenal shape. What does she do? And, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously their first guess might not be wrestler because wrestling is just not a common profession to have, but that is definitely something that I want for myself.
Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. And I think James will follow up on this one. There's a picture with you and Becky Lynch on your Instagram, and there's a guy in red giving you side eye. What's his deal?
I don't know what picture it is. Let me see which one really quick. Because I think I only have one picture with Becky, but I can't remember. 1 second. Was it? I'm almost there.
Sitting on the side behind you, red workout shirt.
I'm looking.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Okay, so that's Luke Sanders. That was Becky's ex-boyfriend. So we actually met her so I did jiu-jitsu for the longest time at the MMA lab. I loved jiu-jitsu, and I unfortunately had to like stop doing it because it was the same day as wrestling practice. If it were up to me, I would 100% go back. There's just no way I could fit it into my schedule because I literally am like never home. Like, this is the rare occasion that I'm home, and right after this I'm gonna leave to go to the gym and then go to wrestling practice. So like I can't fit jiu-jitsu back in there. But we used to go to the MMA lab, and he was dating her. And the other time that I met her actually was at his UFC fight, like his weigh-in. So he was a UFC fighter that trained at the MMA lab too. And so I don't know, I think that he was very tired because I know that was like during his on season for, you know, getting, like he was in training camp to get ready for a fight. And I think that was like about a month before his fight. So he was just like really, really tired from the day, I think. And I think he was definitely ready to go. But he was waiting for her to finish up her workout. So she finished up her workout and then met with me. And I was like, that was really nice. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
So it wasn't you he was giving side eye. It was Becky he was giving side eye.
I'm not sure. It could be both of us. Like, can you please hurry up this? You know, I obviously am not to the point yet where I understand like the lifestyle of like you have to like all like it's scary nowadays. Like people they don't care. Like they do not care about privacy or anything. And I think she just lives that lifestyle where it's like she goes out and people know who she is. Like, and I'm sure it definitely gets annoying. And that's something like I'm excited for, but also like a little hesitant because nowadays there's like no privacy, and I guess I've already kind of experienced that slightly. Like, I really wanted to sell my shirts online, and then I was like, oh well, I guess people will see my address, and that's not something that I want. So, that's definitely something I feel like a lot of people don't understand is like these are wrestlers, and yes, they're famous, but they have a life too. And I understand they're giving up their whole entire life to be entertainers, but like at some point they need their privacy. And that was like Becky was literally going to like, and now I understand that as like a wrestler, I realized that I might have like been like, because it wasn't an atmosphere where she was expecting to meet fans, you know, it wasn't like an actress or something. And like I see these videos of like people going to like hotels, and I'm like, I feel like that is way too far. I've waited outside of an arena before, but I've never been to a hotel looking for a wrestler because that is their safe space. That is their privacy. But yeah, I think she was definitely she was also pretty tired because she had come to town for like literally just to hang out with Luke for his fight. So she was like going, and that was, I think, like a Tuesday night. So she was like, that was back when I think, actually, I don't know, SmackDown used to be on Tuesday. It could have been a Wednesday. No, I think it was a Wednesday because she had said that she was just at SmackDown back when SmackDown was on Tuesdays. So yeah, I think they were both very tired. I hold nothing against them whatsoever. I also feel bad because I'm like, well, she was definitely not like in the environment that she was expecting me to fan. And I talked her ear off, of course.
It's funny you mentioned hotels back in 2013, WrestleMania 29 weekend. It's out at the at MetLife Stadium, and Hurricane Sandy had hit months prior, and a lot of people in my part of New York City had to take temporary housing. They were put up in hotels, and one of the hotels was the Sheraton out by JFK Airport. At the time, my girlfriend at the time was living there, and I would go and stay with her. WrestleMania weekend, the Friday before, I'm in my pajamas. I'm going down to the lobby, to get the fresh baked cookies they give out. I come out of the elevator. Who's sitting right in the lobby, but none other than Mark Henry?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's like, if you happen to be staying in the same hotel as them, I think that's really cool. I just feel like, those people who like will literally camp outside of hotels and with the chance of meeting a wrestler. I feel like that's too much. Or even like, I've heard wrestlers, like I've listened back when I was still like a diehard like fan. Because I mean, when you become a wrestler, I feel like you become a different sort of fan. The reason why you wrestle is because you love it, but you don't love it as like a super fan anymore. You love it like for everything that it is. And you also I still don't know the full truth. Like my coach was telling me, he's like, once you make it to WWE, or if you make it, obviously there's no givens, but your perception may completely change because like the way you love it as a fan, like once you become a wrestler and you like are there, it might not be something that you expect, and it might not be something that you truly like. And like, I guess I'm obviously in denial about that, but I guess that's not something I will experience until or if I ever make it to WWE. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
We went off on a tangent, and now I'm going to go off on another tangent, but just because you said that. I was an indie worker for some time back in 2010. Everybody who's listening has heard this story 10 million times. I'm gonna tell this. But yeah, I started training. It was given to me as a gift. And once I, started learning bumping and everything, you're right. My view on it did become different. That combined with a terrible locker room atmosphere, but the fact that I trained with some people that are now television mainstays. I'm thinking, wow, that could have been me because I trained with Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Tony Nese, Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, at the NYWC, and but you are absolutely right. Your view of it changes because you know how everything is put together, and you know why everything is put together, and you know when it goes wrong. I think that's the biggest distinction.
Yeah, too, and just like how crappy people are. Like people, nobody is in it to help other people out. And like to me, I feel like I'm a very caring and giving person. I trust a lot of people with everything, and that's like one of the issues that I'm realizing is like there's a lot of things that you shouldn't tell people because they can literally use it against you. Everybody wants to be in WWE and they don't care how they get there. They don't care. You kind of see people's true colors. And like, I think it's very interesting how like people will go from 1 second to being your friend to like hating you for no reason, or they will talk crap about you and then smile to your face. Like, I've seen a lot and heard a lot, and I'm just like, it's very, and people, like, I've heard a lot of stories about how, like, people will be rude to you now, and then the moment you get, like, signed or something, they'll be your best friend, and it's like, that's how you know, like, who's with you right now, who cares about you right now, who wants your best interest, and there are very few people who truly, truly want that for you, and there's very, very few people in my life that I know will be there for me no matter what. And it's like some of my closest like friends that I have there and my coach, and I know that they'll be there for me. And I just like I'm realizing people's true colors and realizing like people are not the best, and that's just kind of how it has to be. Though I know that it sounds bad, but you can never trust anyone really, and that's one of the hardest things that like I'm coming to terms with.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten over somebody attempting to actually kill me in the ring. Yeah, when they, fresh faced rookie, I'm willing to do anything. It's the locker room bully says, "Oh, for a practice match, okay, you're gonna take a tombstone," and I get tombstone. Luckily, nothing happens. And the first thing I hear from somebody when they get out of the ring, when I get out of the ring, is, "Why didn't you tuck your neck?" And I said, "Was I supposed to?" And they asked him, "Why didn't you tell him to protect his neck? Tuck his neck?" He said, "Oh, guess I forgot."
Oof. So, like, to me, honestly, mistakes will happen, and there are definitely things where it's like, you should, like, know that, but obviously you were new and you totally didn't. And, that's just, like, a big thing. Like, people will try to hurt you. People will obviously make mistakes. But there's definitely a fine line, and, like, when someone's trying to deliberately go out of their way to hurt you, and because it'll make them feel better. Or they just don't care. Like, they straight up just don't care. And, yeah, I think it's definitely interesting how people truly are.
So, let's get onto another subject. Can you tell us about your match against Maya Martinez, which seemed like it brought out a more aggressive side of you?
Yes, I think you're referring to the match. It was like May something, and it was my title defense against Maya Martinez.
Yes, I believe she swung you into a chair.
Yeah. So some really good pictures came out of that. It wasn't very fun to take to get hit with the chair. That was not fun, but like my abs looked amazing in those pictures. No, but that was a really fun match. When people ask me what match that they should watch, I'll definitely say that one and the ones with Alex Gracia, and my match with Paradox. Because those are just my favorite matches. And I think, I don't know. I loved that match just because, like, I feel like I tried a ton of different things. And I don't know. I feel like everything she hit me with is very brutal. And I just looked really cool in the way that I landed and everything. And I don't know. I loved the pictures that came out of that match. So, yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but your first gimmick was a school clothes?
Yeah, so that was an interesting one. We were trying to figure out what to do, and so my name was Ruby Rhinestone. Not my best moment. I don't like that name now. I think Brittnie Brooks works a lot better. And yeah, that it just didn't work. Like, I don't know. I can't remember what we were going for or like why we thought it was good, but I personally do not like it, and there's like one post up or two posts up as that, and I'm like, I don't want to delete those because of memories, but like it was embarrassing time in my life. For sure.
So, no, so not the best first gimmick in the world.
No, but I feel like you're gonna lose some at first. And like, I mean, one day I might look back at Brittnie Brooks and be like, oh, that was the dumb character too. But not really that's also one of the things that I want to work on during my recovery time is like, I feel like I don't have much of a character. I feel like I'm kind of behind in the sense that like I don't know who Brittnie Brooks is fully. And I think it's partly because I'm still finding who I am as a person, like in real life. I still am extremely, I guess, young, but also just like I have not experienced a lot of things that people traditionally do. And I think that's also like, obviously for safety reasons, that's why, like, for safety reasons, people can't become wrestlers until they're 18, but also for like experience reasons, like there's a lot of real life things that correlate to wrestling, and there's a lot of people that are able to do a lot better in wrestling because they have experienced basic human things that I just haven't experienced yet because I'm so young. And that was like one of the things that like my coach gets on me a lot because just like the way I perceive the world is still much like a kid. And that's something I'm definitely working on because he's like, he uses Disney as an example, and like to me, I don't think I'll ever grow out or stop loving Disney, but he's like, if you look at the world like it's Disney, you will get burned because you have to you have to build yourself into like a solid fortress and make it so that nobody can get to you, so that nobody, like what they say won't affect you and all these things like that. But if you always think everything is always like rainbows and sunshine, you're gonna get burned. And like that's definitely something that I'm working on too. Like he's like, I use Disney as the example to, be like, you can't love Disney forever. He's like, literally you can, but like it's like metaphorically, like you can't be a kid forever. And I've always looked at myself as mature, so like I feel like that is something that would set me even more ahead and more mature, as if I do apply that in terms of like, not every, like people aren't the way that I think they are, and things aren't always going to be perfect, but it's just like working through those things and becoming better, because being a better person will also help me become a better wrestler.
Hey, Scooter, you have a question?
Yes. Now, you're also a huge Star Wars fan, from what I gather. Based on what I saw, I'm going to say Ahsoka Tano is your favorite character?
Yes, from Clone Wars. I love Clone Wars. Anakin Skywalker is also one of my favorite characters. It was funny because growing up, I wasn't the biggest fan of Anakin. I was more of a fan of Luke. And now I go back and I'm like, to me, like, the prequels are the best things. And one of the things that also helped me love the prequels so much was Clone Wars. Like, Star Wars Clone Wars is literally the best thing that I feel like Star Wars has ever done. That and Kenobi, because Kenobi is just, like, amazing. Kenobi is unreal.
Yes.
Mandalorian was also good, but, like, my favorite time period, I'm realizing, is between, like, the time Anakin is growing up until he becomes Darth Vader, and then, like, slightly after that with Kenobi. But, like, I love Ahsoka, because I think that I just love, like, to think that Clone Wars was made for kids on, you know, an animated, like, TV program, and it's just, like, that good. I'm like, because everybody, like, a lot of people look past Clone Wars because they're like, oh, well, it's for kids, it's an animated TV. Like, no, it's good. It's a lot better than even the sequels. And I think the originals are also good. But, yeah.
So you're in a few pictures. You're wielding a blue lightsaber. Is that because it's Ahsoka's color lightsaber? And if you could choose the color of your lightsaber, what color would you choose?
Okay, so I actually bought the Legacy lightsaber, the Reforged Skywalker, which I was mad because I went in asking for Anakin's because I wanted Anakin's. It's Anakin's hilt, but it has like a little thing on it to like make it Rey's or whatever. I'm not the like I like Rey. I think she's a good female character, but I'm not the biggest fan of the sequels. Like I'm a little wishy-washy about them. Like I love watching them, but it's because it's some Star Wars content in my lifetime because everything else is not in my lifetime. But I love Ahsoka, like I said. But the actual lightsaber that I do have is a reforged Skywalker Rey's spin on Anakin's. But I just wanted Anakin's. That's all I wanted. But they didn't have it, and I was like, I guess I'll just get it because I went in like planning because my brother built a lightsaber and he loves his. But I'm like, I don't know. I really like the way Anakin's looks, and I'm actually literally looking at it right now because it's like right in front of me. But yeah, my color though would probably be blue because I like blue. Green is good, but I'm like, blue is cooler. Red is also really cool because my brother got a red Kyber. So what was really funny is there's like a black Kyber challenge like hidden in the red Kyber crystals. So my brother bought a red Kyber crystal, thinking he was getting a red one, and he actually pulled a black one, which was really funny because I watched this YouTube channel called Ordinary Adventurers, and they bought like at least 30 red ones before finally getting the black one. And he just got it on first try, and I was like, that is so funny.
I have the dark saber and currently in my room, so
Yeah.
That's
James, if you'll permit me, 2 more quick questions.
Could I ask one Star Wars question?
Sure, go ahead.
How did you feel when you saw Ahsoka live action after seeing her, animated after all these years?
I thought it was really cool. I'm the type of person though that doesn't like change and like renditions and stuff. Like to me, like for example, I don't read books that much, but like whenever I read a book and I like have a picture of the characters in my mind, and then a movie gets made about that and they don't look how I thought they were gonna look, I get upset. And like I love the way Ahsoka looks animated. Like, I think it's really cool that they did live action, but to me, it's different. So, like, from like when I only know something as something, I get like upset if I see it as differently. If that makes sense. Like the only thing that I'm not exactly like that is Spider-Man. Like I fully love all of this Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. Tom Holland is my favorite. But I don't know. It's just like whenever you see something different, I don't know. I just like it just doesn't feel the same. And I also love Ashley Eckstein's voice. I think she's amazing, and I follow her on Instagram and see all the stuff that she's doing. And my friend Maria has actually met her a few times. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I love Ashley Eckstein. But the fact that Ashley Eckstein was not the live-action Ahsoka was like, eh. But I still love seeing Ahsoka live-action.
All right. You may ask your question now, Scooter.
Okay. Okay. So, based on everything you've told us about lightsabers, is it safe to say you know what the colors mean?
Honestly, not really. I'm not gonna lie.
Only because you said blue, and technically there's two shades of blue. There's the Luke's blue, which is that of the Jedi Guardians, and then a light blue, which is just a general for prosperity. Red, of course, is evil, the Sith, and of course, purple. Samuel Jackson brings the balance, as he does everywhere. Now, being a Star Wars fan, and I apologize in advance for this, but you're in the minority with me that really like the prequels. But then again, I don't like sand. It's rough, of course, and it gets everywhere.
But you're okay with me. I like the prequels. I think.
I just said I like the prequels.
Oh, you said you liked the prequels. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know what the machete order is?
I do not.
It is the order. It's a different order of watching all the films in Star Wars to avoid all the twists until last. It's basically taking the entire series and cutting and pasting everything together. It goes A New Hope, Empire, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and Force Awakens, and I think Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are both at the end. There is an Ahsoka Tano order, though.
Okay.
Based on whoa, someone's unshielding a lightsaber.
No, I was grabbing something.
Everything. There we go. But it includes basically it's all her appearances. I don't know why I'm stretching it out like that, but it includes literally every episode down to like the time frame and how long she appears in episodes of Clone Wars and whatnot. Yeah.
So one thing that we did do though is my brother is like so I am definitely a surface level fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but a lot of the like politics and like concepts are like harder for me to understand. I would not consider myself very smart. Not to like knock on myself or whatever, but like I need to rewatch something like several times to understand, and I need to watch like breakdown videos on things. I'm just not the like I don't catch everything. I don't fully understand, everything, why everything happens. But my brother does, because he's like very, very, very smart. And one of the things that we did do though was we watched the last episode of Clone Wars stitched in to the Revenge of the Sith, and oh my god, it was actually so cool. So what you did is like you played this part of the Clone Wars finale and then cut, and like he found this video on like I don't know, some like dark web something, I don't know, but like he found it on there, and I was like, this is really cool, because we literally watched part of this episode and then part of the movie, and like it was just really cool. I love doing that. So I know that's not really what you were talking about, but that was cool.
But I think we actually have a message from Ahsoka Tano herself.
This is Ahsoka Tano, and my favorite wrestler is Brittnie Brooks.
I love it. I was going to ask you guys, I heard at the beginning that you were sponsored by an energy drink company. Which one was it again?
Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee.
Yes.
Yo, Rogue is so good. I love Rogue. I'm trying to like build my sponsorship. So hey, Rogue, if you're listening, hit up Brittnie Brooks, because I am an energy drink addict, and I drink a lot of pre-workouts and.
If you Rogue Energy, Brittany, if you use our promo code Wrestling with E, you get 10% off.
Oh snap!
I
need to take you up on that.
And we do have for our the other show James and I host, the Remix over on YouTube. We have our own sponsors as well. We have another energy drink. I'll only mention it if James lets me.
No.
Do it. I want to know.
All right, let her know.
It's Raise Energy.
Okay, I don't know if I've heard of them.
But you did mention pre-workout, and a wrestler just came out with a pre-workout. Billy Gunn.
Oh, I didn't know that. I like the Gun Club, though. I do watch them on AEW. I think they're great.
Yes, boys. And that's made by BPI Sports, and BPI Sports is one of my sponsors.
Oh, snap. Y'all just got sponsors left and right here. I need to drink like the same juice that y'all are drinking and come on, guys, sponsor Brittnie Brooks.
I don't think you're of age to drink the energy drink we drink now.
Oh, I did just start drinking a Reign, and it does say recommended for persons 18 or older, but like I've kind of drank in all the energy drinks before 18. But
now our energy drink is called whiskey.
I see.
I'm kidding. We don't drink at all.
Oh.
Alright, from sponsorships to a controversial question. Pineapple on pizza, what's your stance?
Okay. Ever since watching the Stranger Things Volume 2, really, I really want to try it. I don't know the last time I had it, or even if I've ever had it before, honestly. Whenever somebody asks me, I'm like, I don't have an answer for you, but now I really want pizza.
You may have to point her towards Pizza Party Pro, James.
Oh, definitely. I mean, choose your side. August 20th, Pizza Party Pro Forbidden Food event. The Wrestling with Entertainment, the unofficial sponsor.
Well,
what's your spirit Pokemon?
Wait, what did you say?
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Don't hate me, but I don't know Pokemon. My brother tried to get me to play the DS games. I was lost.
Fair enough. Weirdest question you'll ever be asked on a wrestling podcast.
For a few minutes.
Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, Scooter,
Not the country.
An actual rock.
Wait, wrestling inside of a rock?
No, wrestling a physical rock.
An
Like-
actual rock, a small boulder.
Oh, well. We have been taught if we can wrestle a broomstick, then we can wrestle anything. So, sign me up for the rock.
Yes. I love that enthusiasm.
Not. It's a rock.
And just for context, there was this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual rock in a Tungsten Man match. An Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He didn't win.
Oh. Don't know how that's possible, but okay.
The Rock is really good at wrestling.
Love Dwayne.
And of course, on the show we love Tracy Smothers. Do you know the acronym for THUG? THUG.
I don't know, but all I gotta say is if there's any promoters on here listening to this podcast, book Thugnificent. He wrestles in Arizona. His name is Thug, and I think he's an incredible, incredible wrestler. That's all I gotta say. That's what I thought of when you said Thug. Because he's magnificent.
Now I don't know if I should say it, James.
I mean, you can if you want to.
Well, all right. Only because it's
Tracy.
It's for Tracy Smothers.
Yes.
R.I.P. T is for terrible. H is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for jail. Because a thug can't spell. And crickets.
Now it's time for the colossal question. They're making a movie about Brittnie Brooks. And every movie has its soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on the Brittnie Brooks wrestling soundtrack up to this point?
Oh my god, this is such a great question. And one of the things that I've also struggled with is I love Ariana Grande. I really wanted her because I come out to Focus by Ariana Grande, and I love that song. But I'm trying to find another song just because I feel like I need to have more energized type song, and I can't think of any song. But my friend Adrian sent me a song a bit ago that he's like, you really need to try this song. And I gotta find it because it was good. I was like, I should change my theme song to that. But I guess the three songs for my soundtrack. I don't know. That's a great question.
I did have a question about Ariana Grande that I left out, so this covers that very well.
Okay. Oof, what was the song he told me to listen to? Gosh, I honestly don't know what my soundtrack would be. I am becoming a really big fan of Drake recently. Love his songs. And 21 Savage. I've been, my workout playlist is getting, insane. My workout playlist is, becoming my everything, dude. I look forward to working out so I can hear my workout playlist. No, but I love Drake right now. I use a lot of his songs on my Instagram stories to promote my posts or whatever, or I don't know, to post videos of me doing something with my leg. I would say I love Jimmy Cooks right now. Everybody said that the whole album, Honestly Nevermind, was horrible. I liked it. I thought Jimmy Cooks is the best song though. And then I would say we could put we could put I love my gosh, I can't think. I'm looking at my playlist right now just to figure it out.
If you need time to think, we could go on to another.
First Class by Jack Harlow. Oh my god, I love Jack Harlow.
Okay.
And then we'll do I feel like a good montage song would be One Right Now by Post Malone and The Weeknd.
Okay.
Love that song too. Also, honorable mention Levitating by Dua Lipa and DaBaby. Because it's just it's such a summer song. I love it. Anyways, you guys can continue with your questions. I'm sorry.
No. Was that 3 or 2? Did you say?
I said 3. I said first. I said
yes.
Okay. Yeah. First, I said Jimmy Cooks. So Jimmy Cooks. Oh my gosh, I already forgot the second one.
Post Malone, The Weeknd.
That was the third one.
No, Dua Lipa and DaBaby. Oh no, that was the honorable mention.
That was the honorable mention.
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow, First Class. Yep.
Okay. Do you lock it in?
I think it's an automatic lock-in.
Yeah, I lock it in. Those 3, lock it in.
All right.
Don't torture her anymore, James, please.
You all locked in. All right. Now it is time for Brittnie Brooks, Bizarre Adventure. You're a wrestler that goes up and saying weird, crazy, and bizarre things sometimes happen. Tell us a road story that fits that description.
A story, a what story?
A road story that's crazy, bizarre, weird, funny, crazy.
So I haven't been on the road that much. I've only traveled for 2 matches, but I could tell you like a backstage story. I think it sticks out. I can't think. One time I'm like, Paradox is one of my very close friends. I love Paradox. He's really funny. I had just, so it was right after my match with Milo. I had just, I didn't realize there was going to be no intermission, and that was when I first started selling my merch. So this was back in, February. And, I was going to, because I realized the show was over, and I was like, I need to catch all these people and sell my merch, right before they leave, so then I get, to sell my merch, because that was the first show I sold my merch at for AWF. And so I go to get around, because our backstage is really weird. It's just outside, and then you have to go around the whole building to get to the front door. So I had to go around the whole building to get to the front door. So I was like, shoot, the show's over, because I was watching the show. And so I get up and try to grab all my stuff and go. Paradox, that little meanie, he is short, by the way, and we make fun of him for it. Because of reasons like this. I'm carrying my water bottle, which I had just bought. It was a Hydro Flask. I just bought it. Literally the week before. Just bought this Hydro Flask. He sticks his foot out. So I have my box. My box with, my merch. And then my box with my Hydro in my other hand. And I go, and I start, walking. He trips me. Oh. I fall. I drop the box, face plant onto the box. My water bottle goes flying, and I skin my knee and my elbow, and I'm like, what the F? So I get all mad. Well, not actually mad. I laughed it off, but I was seriously. But the worst part, I did not care about skinning my knees or my elbows or that I just face planted on a box in front of all these people. I cared because my Hydro Flask that I just bought was not only dented, but the little flippy lid thing, you know how when you flip the lid up,
right?
You have to pull on the thing. The thing that you pull on to flip the lid up broke.
Ooh.
Oh.
And those things are $10 extra to buy, the lids that aren't the screw-on lids. It's the flippy lid. So I was so now my lid doesn't flip up. It's broken, and my Hydro is dented. And I was these things are $40. I did not pay $40 for you to ruin my Hydro Flask. But it's okay, we got over it. Paradox and I are still friends, even though he's a bully sometimes.
Alright. Now, on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, my goal is to be in WWE. I feel like honestly, there's no time period on it. But when I come back, like, I want to be 100 times better than what I was. And I want to be on point in literally every aspect. I want to have my look down, my character, ability to talk, my wrestling, everything just down. And I want to be in WWE. That is my goal. Obviously, if another promotion reaches out to me first, I can't turn down an opportunity. But WWE to me is the epitome of what wrestling is. And making it there is the end all be all, I feel like. Obviously, other promotions are really amazing, and I would love to work with them. But to me, like, WWE is always going to be my dream, and I will not stop until I get there. And then when I get there, I'm not going to stop until I'm at the top, and then main eventing, and then doing all those things. But in 5 years, as long as I'm in WWE, I feel like I will be on the right path. And I feel like, because right now I'm having this extreme moral dilemma because I'm about to go into my senior year of high school, and my high school is set up so then we take college classes at a community college. So I'm going to community college with like adults and these people who are like looking to go and move on to university. And I'm having to make the decision to not go to university. Like, I used to be a really, really good student, and then when COVID happened, I feel like, I don't know, I just became lazier, but I still work really, really hard in school. I just don't know if, like, so much is going on in my life now that I'm, like, not 100% focused on school. So, like, I don't want to go to university for that reason, and because I feel like you're going to have to take out all these loans and pay all these things just to pay, like, literally just to learn, and then probably not even use it. And I just want to wrestle. Like, my coach has always told me, if you want to wrestle, you have to go all in. Now, if you go all in, there's a very, 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 very small chance of actually making it. But you're never going to you won't even get that chance if you don't go all in. So I'm like, I'm going to go all in, and I've made the decision that I'm not going to go to university. I'll be 2 years ahead, so I'll actually graduate community college. Like, I'll be at the community college graduation before my actual high school graduation, so I'll already be 2 years ahead. So I'm going to at least give myself those 2 years to try to kill it in wrestling and try to wrestle wherever I can. You know, I want to wrestle everywhere. Like, I just want to be able to have the means to be able to. So that's like another thing where it's like, I obviously still live with my parents because I'm still a child. And so I want to be able to travel and live comfortably. And I know it's going to be hard because I'm not going to have like I'm not going to have a degree, like a bachelor's degree in anything yet. So I can't get like any like high prestigious jobs. But I feel like I can still find a job that's going to be able to support me and to support my travel, like, to wherever. So, yeah, that's, like, my goal, and that's where I want to be in 5 years. Is WWE. At least NXT, if not main roster, by 5 years.
All right. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Brittnie Brooks is all about? I think you answered this already, though.
I have mentioned definitely match with Paradox. Brittnie Brooks versus Paradox. It was back in March 2021. That was honestly my favorite. So we had 2 shows in a row, like a Friday night show and a Saturday night show. And I know most wrestlers have experienced that before, where they're wrestling 2 nights in a row. I felt like a real wrestler, because like obviously I guess I am a real wrestler, but like it just doesn't click in my brain sometimes, where it's like I feel like I'm still so new. A lot of wrestlers have experienced like full wrestling weekends where they're wrestling Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But like that was the first ever taste I got of wrestling 2 nights in a row. And it was honestly the best feeling. And then to have like such a good match with Paradox, who's also like one of my best friends, that was a lot of fun. And I got to try like moves where like in practice I was so scared to do them, and then I just pulled it out at the show. Like going into that match, I was like very scared for a lot of the moves that I wanted to do, because I was so scared that I wasn't gonna like do them right. And then I ended up like literally knocking the house down with that match. And then yeah, that's definitely my favorite match. Matches with Alex Gracia too in October 2021. They're posted like at different times because I had put them up. They got copyright strict because I didn't edit them or anything, which is definitely something I'm also going to do when I go back is edit the entrances out. That way, because some of them are doing, like, they're getting a decent amount of views. Like, I think my match with Diva has, like, 11K, which isn't enough to get paid, but I'm like, in the future, if I do want to, like, get monetization or whatever, they're all copyright stricken because I just didn't edit them at all. So that's something I'm also going to do when I go back to wrestling is edit my YouTube videos because I don't want to get copyright stricken. But yeah, those are definitely the matches. I ramble a lot. Anyways.
And the Paradox match, you hit him a little bit harder because he broke your bottle? Yes or no?
Because he what?
Because he broke your bottle?
Wait. Oh, no, that actually was before.
Oh.
So that match happened before he broke my Hydro Flask. I've gotten him back in practice, though. I beat him up a little bit in practice for that one, though.
Alright. And that match will specifically be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. If you haven't seen it already, you can after this interview. And of course, the YouTube page will be in the description as well, so you can see all of her matches. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, snap.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I suck at speed rounds. I talk too much, so I'm gonna try to do this correctly.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
I definitely don't nearly think I'm the greatest wrestler of all time. But greatest wrestler of all time, I would say, is a tie between The Rock and Shawn Michaels. I absolutely love watching them. Rock is insane at speaking. His wrestling isn't, like, as good to me as Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels also is a great talker. I don't know, but they're just tied in my book. I love both of them endlessly.
Alright. Worst wrestler.
The what wrestler? Sorry.
Worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler? Oh my god, me.
No.
Nope.
100% me. That's not me. Gosh, I don't know. That's such a mean question. Definitely me though. I don't know. Bad Bunny maybe.
Oh, okay.
No offense. He wasn't a trained wrestler. Like, I mean, he worked really hard and he had a good match, but he's not a wrestler. So I guess you can say somebody who had one match in their life is.
Bad Bunny, what do you think? Oh, no.
He just like joins he's like, what'd you say about me? No, I also like, I don't know his music. I feel like I'm about to be hated now by all the Bad Bunny fans.
If we had any that listened.
Scooter, you were saying something?
If we had Bad Bunny fans that were listening, maybe. But I think you're saying.
Sorry, guys. I don't dislike Bad Bunny. He had one match. Like.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Mia Friday. She's incredible. She's also a very, 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 very young, talented, insanely amazing girl who I have known since my wrestling fan page days. We both had wrestling fan page days, and we were both like friends on Instagram before we even started wrestling. And I've known her for forever, and I love her so much. I cannot wait to meet her one day. She's doing insane things, and I love her. I'm like her biggest fan.
All right. But when somebody says, you know, an independent talent or somebody that they've wrestled before, if you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Ooh, being a Bella Twins fan for my life, I would say the Bella Twins. I already do their backflip into the ring. Not to steal that, but like I definitely do that because I love it, and I want to like because they are the reason why I'm wrestling because I love them so much. Oh my god, this is a speed round. I'm gonna stop talking.
You're fine. Finish the sentence. K-Fig is...
Something I suck at. Because because like I feel like I'm bordering like sometimes I'll try to, but then sometimes I just like start talking and forget everything. I don't even know.
We also would have accepted is quite good on toast.
What?
K-Fip's a food as well.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't even know that.
No, it's not. Stop confusing the poor girl, James. It's a running gag. That's the alternate answer. Kayfabe is. We also would have accepted is quite good on toast. Maybe it sounds better if I say it in a Scottish accent, like they did in Shrek.
But you can't not do in a Scottish accent.
It's quite good on toast, actually.
Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Oh, I don't know. I'd say vegetable.
It is a fruit.
Is it really?
Yes, it's the tomato logic. But you are now officially in good graces with Kaliko Yachts, and that means a hell of a lot more you're part of Squash Squad.
Yeah.
New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Oh, so being a minor, I am pretty covered up. I think, honestly, so you, as a wrestler, you're selling yourself and you're selling your body, but I think there is a fine line, like, to how little you should be wearing. Like, there are some wrestlers that, in my opinion, wear a little too little. But I don't know. For me at least, I feel like I won't go ever like too little. But I mean, if somebody wants to, it's more power to them. Just, they gotta be careful that there's nothing falling out.
Or at least, get the wrinkles out of your birthday suit first.
And the main event, the last question, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No.
And that is the correct answer.
Oh, cool.
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much, Brittnie, for coming on and doing this with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
And once again, can you tell us where we can find you on social media, merchandise, and everything we should know about Brittnie Brooks?
You can find me on Instagram at the Brittnie Brooks. My YouTube is the Brittnie Brooks 04 at Gmail, I think. And then Twitter we've established I suck at. Facebook is linked to my Instagram, so like just double post there, I think. I don't know. My mom is always like, why'd you post this? I'm like, I don't even know. I just post on Instagram and it ends up on Facebook. And then that's about it. My merch you can buy from me. I'm working out trying to figure out how to ship it out just because I don't want to put my return address, but I thought about putting the school's return address on it. That way I don't have some random people coming to my house. And yeah, so I have shirts, stickers, 8x10s, which I want to get new ones made because I have better pictures now than I did when I first got my merch. And then, yeah, maybe be coming out with a new shirt. My goal is to have a new shirt when I come back, so.
I believe Brittnie also has a link tree that's got everything listed in one convenient location.
Yes, it is. That link tree is very convenient.
Yes, they are very convenient, especially for me, who gets all the links and puts them in the description of the video below. You can find all of those links in the description on YouTube and Castbox. No need to Google it or go looking for it. Simply click the link. Give her a follow on Instagram, and I mean you've been listening to her for just over an hour and a half. When she gets merchandise out there, buy a damn shirt.
Yeah.
And don't read the return address.
Okay.
Right.
True.
If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, vote on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this is sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Wednesday as we interview Zachary Pierre Balder, ZPB, our second round.
Paul there. James. God, I'm cracking up.
And, of course, follow Wrestling with Entertainment at Wrestling with Ebot on Twitter and Instagram for latest interviews when they come out, etc., etc. You can follow us individually as well. I am at JamesShay993. You can follow Kaliko at I am Kaliko. And where can we find Scooter?
As always, you can find me waiting for you in your hotel room. Don't ask how I got in. You can find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust. Find James, me, and Ryan Dust hosting the remix on YouTube on the Noob channel next time we come to you live with SummerSlam Premium Audio Companion Experience for all of your premium live event needs and alternate commentary. And of course, join me and Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons. Revel in our Twitch antics, twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons. I think we have one more person to hear from, though.
This is Darth Vader, and my gentleman's son. My favorite all-time wrestler is Brittnie Brooks.
Yes!
And now, when I say Wrestling Wit, you say entertainment. Are you ready, Brittany?
Yes, I'm ready.
For our very special guest, Brittnie Brooks, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J. And this has been Wrestling Wit
Entertainment!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.